aspects of the feminine, and it's been so enlightening to speak with you and hear about how women are really good in the dark. And it's really encouraging, and I just love to hear that because it does feel like something that, again, the men would like effort through or sort of be better at because it seems hard, and that because women have this power within us in the true challenge that we can do well. So I'd love for you to explore or just share more about that, how you see women really doing well in these darkness retreats.
Yeah, I'd say for me, witnessing from the outside, the people who have had the most profound transformation have been women who have gone in for just 3 days. And what I've seen happen is that they've allowed the backlog of grief, pain, sorrow, all of those things to arise. And one thing I see that allows that to happen is they feel safe in a way that they've never felt safe before. And I was sharing this with an elder who leads a lot of vision quests, and we're in a room with a bunch of people. And he said, ask all the women in here the last time they felt unsafe. And he said, most of them are going to say today. And then ask the men, and they're going to think about it. And it may have been a couple of years ago. Maybe if they're in the city and there's things that happen, but just in general, as a man, they tend to feel safer than women. And so entering into the dark, where everyone and women, where I feel like it really stands out, is they could finally collapse
Mhm.
and move into vulnerable spaces and feel like they don't have to have their guards up and they don't have to protect themselves. And they can be in that space seemingly forever in the darkness of this timeless space. And so the women who go in and get to fully collapse for the first time ever in a way where there's just no end to it
Mhm.
and allow these feelings to bubble up and be with them, that they enter into a space where they realize they don't have to guard themselves from feeling the fullness of the pain and the grief. And they come into a space that's just, that can hold it all.
Mm.
And I feel like for the men, we've been so conditioned not to feel discomfort or pain or sorrow because that would be weakness. And so I feel like the men have a lot harder time just surrendering and softening and collapsing because there's no control and we're not used to not having control. There was a young couple that went in who were living on the land with us, and she was going to go, they're both going to go in for 2 days in their own space. She came out after a day and was feeling sad that she left early. I wasn't there. They went in while I was gone, so they just went in and did their own thing, and she was feeling that, like, she thought something was wrong with her because she felt so much grief and pain and wasn't didn't have the tools to be with it while she was in there. And she was a little down on herself that her partner was still in there. And I was reflecting with her that he probably didn't and hasn't gone as deeply as you have into the feeling. He's in there likely posturing from the pain and the discomfort. And when we brought him out together. And to see her reflection when he was like, oh, I had to fight through it.
Mhm.
And there was the clear affirmation from her of just like, you fought through your pain
Mhm.
as opposed to just feeling it. And so I feel like that is what happens a lot in the difference between the men and the women, and the men who make it through soften and
Mhm.
collapse
Mhm.
and surrender
Mhm.
in a way that they maybe never have. There's been a lot of men who have come who have done a lot of men's work and vision quests and vision fasts and done a lot of these austere things and have been severely humbled in the space of like, wow, this is not warrior work in that way. It's got a whole nother flavor to it.
Yeah, it's like the activeness, the engaging, because a quest is masculine in its own to
Mhm.
say you're on a quest, destination, steps through, and you kind of understand it and you're like, okay, I understand my process. but to be in the black and to be in the darkness and to feel. Thank you so much for tuning in to Morning Microdose by Almost 30.
We hope you enjoyed waking up.
As always, we encourage you to take what resonates and leave the rest. If you enjoyed this trip, tune into the full episode on the Almost 30 podcast. All episode information can be found in the show notes.
Make sure to subscribe, and if this becomes a part of your morning routine, be sure to share it with a friend. We have new inspiring doses Monday through Friday. Follow us on Instagram at Morning Microdose, and follow Almost 30 at Almost 30 Podcast.
Thanks for listening. We'll see you in the vortex.